That's the untold story about what a sad day for New York. I've never looked down more at a city like that I used to hold in high regards. What happened to New York?
Archery! You animal, you! Go back to the farm, you animal! They're looking for you at the sanctuary! You filthy animal! You QAnon lunatic! Hit her with the space lasers! Blast her with the fucking space lasers! Get the fuck out of New York, you racist, sick, filthy, infected animal! Get the fuck out of here!
This kind of hurts me to see. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, if you don't know. If you go to middlemega.com, I have a little bit of an about section about me. But even though I didn't like New York, New Yorkers look down on cities like Cleveland. If you might know, especially those in America, they think they're better than Cleveland. Cleveland's a small town. We've got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's about it. Cleveland Clinic is probably the best thing known. Really a good hospital. Too bad what they did during the pandemic. But I still always looked up to New York in a way growing up, believe it or not. New Yorkers were, especially, 9/11, everybody rallied around New York. New Yorkers had that fight in them. The impression that I had growing up with New Yorkers were New Yorkers embodied the spirit of America. If you effed around in the wrong way, New Yorkers were based. It didn't matter what political party. They had Giuliani. They had Democrats. They had Bloomberg. They had base people, basically. Based, strong leaders. And New Yorkers had that attitude like, we don't F around. New Yorkers had that, at least with me, that I had that impression that with New Yorkers, if you're on the subway and some random crazy black dude is yelling at a family with a kid on the subway and
I don't care about you. Shut up, you white monkey!
really crossing the line with how they're yelling, that New York was the type of crowd where people would swarm up on saying, wait a second, this ain't going to happen here. Are you new around here? This is New York. Now New York, just a bunch of bitch-ass niggas, all of y'all. Yo, New York is one of the most bitch-ass states and cities in the country. Holla at me if you disagree. Brooklyn, where you at? Nothing but a bunch of bands. They all know this is some BS. And we saw it during the pandemic. They told y'all you're going to have to get these passports. And you're like, yes, sir. You were like, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. There is no state more obedient. No state, no city ready to bend over for Democrats more than New York. That toughness that I thought you had in New York, y'all never had it. There's no way you had it or you wouldn't be with like this now. I don't know what happened. Maybe y'all didn't realize you didn't have it. Y'all don't have any energy like Mr. Michael Rappaport. You don't have any energy for anything other than MAGA.
That slob, that animal, shitbag Donald Trump, pig dick Donald Trump, they're gonna perp walk you, you fuck. They're gonna fingerprint you, your big fat fucking fingers. Someone's gonna have the honor of taking that big fat fucking thumb of yours and, you fuck.
You don't criticize any type of a democratic establishment, any of these democratic-led institutions. New Yorkers, I laugh at you now. I look down at you now. I used to look at New Yorkers with admiration because they have an edge to them, especially like from the financial sector. Just a bunch of bitches. That's all you are in New York. Just exposed. Ever since the pandemic for me, maybe other people knew before, but I didn't know until the pandemic. How y'all bent over and started putting masks like me, putting masks on your 2-year-old. Oh man, y'all is not only that, fighting for it. Like it was some type of virtue signal. Now I put the mask on my 2-year-old, but I'm gonna look down at you because I never looked at it as a virtue signal. I looked at it as like I didn't have the courage to do what it took to be outside of that system, to quit your job or whatever you had to do to watch your kid all day. Y'all turned it into the virtue. Like how I have this hat here. This is my virtue signal to shout out to somebody I respect, Officer Tatum, and the blackout flag. It's a virtue that I think is worth. You guys used your 2-year-olds as a virtue and defended it as a virtue signal to your democratic gods. Nothing but a bunch of bitches. New York City, that's you. I'm talking about you. Just what a shame. The true capital of our city, rallying around Donald Trump getting hemmed up. Why? Because most New Yorkers don't agree with this. Why? Because y'all scared. That's why. Won't even speak out. I know there's a better spirit than that in New York. Very disappointing part of this story to see Manhattan. You can vote Biden all the way, but then look at it in a way where it's like, wait a second, we're New Yorkers. We can spot bullshit when we see bullshit. That's what I thought New Yorkers were about. When the Indians used to have all their rivalries with the Yankees, and the Yankees were all big, and then it was like Manny Ramirez. Oh, that was one of my favorite players. Manny Ramirez, I think his rookie game was against the Yankees. I think it was his first game ever, if I'm not mistaken. 2 home runs, or early on in his career. And the New Yorkers were so based, they were actually cheering for him in a little bit. They were a little bit of claps for Manny Ramirez, great baseball player. I actually was at one of his first games in Cleveland when, back in the 90s. They were so based when they saw greatness, they respected greatness. I thought they were more about being based than, adhering to the Democratic Party. What is that how you guys always were? What happened? Or did the based ones all go to Florida? Is that what happened? Did the based ones all leave? Like, we out of here. And now all that's left are the submissive ones. That's the untold story about what a sad day for New York. I've never looked down more at a city like that I used to hold in high regards. San Francisco's a city, I didn't hold San Franciscoans in high regards, but the city is just beautiful, and they ruined it. The same ideology that leads to hemming up a former president on some bull. The same ideology leads to destroying San Francisco. Hundreds of thousands of people leaving the state because it's on some BS. Same ideology that turns New York into someone is a woman on a subway is getting accosted, and some of them take out cell phones to take videos. Everybody else is looking around, or other people are turning their back like, I didn't see that. Very disturbing video from New York. It is very disturbing, though. This is from a New York subway.
The fuck widow! Punk ass mother nigga!
So what you're listening to is some lunatic. I don't know if it's a male or a female. I think it's a black male. I have no idea. But they're wearing like pink shoes and black leggings and a crop top like sweater on a New York subway, just completely bat-ish off their mind, looking like they came straight out of San Francisco. Seems like the constituents that Democrats would love to create and the atmosphere Democrats would love to create. This is just a lunatic on the subway. And considering what just happened with Frank James, man, this is highly concerning if I were on the subway. So this dude's on the subway just yelling and acting like a goddamn lunatic. So if you're just listening, this lunatic sat down next to a couple women. One woman got up, obviously, to get the hell away from this person, and another woman tried to get up. And this insane person, who should be locked up in an insane asylum, grabbed the woman by her hair to not allow her to sit up. And there are people, I don't know, looks like about 10 to 20 people on the subway, and no one did anything. They're just watching it. They're just watching. Here's a dude that needs to be removed, or a girl, I don't even know what it is. needs to be removed from society on a subway, sat down, grabbed a woman by her hair, and nobody did a damn thing about it. You want to know why Uvalde happens? It's not hard to see why. Look at this. It's difficult to look at, but this is the mirror that we need in our country to say, this is where we're at right now. This, everybody walking around with white supremacy. This is a black person, if you're just listening, dark skinned. Is this what white supremacy looks like?
My fuck widow! Punk ass nigga. Mother nigga!
I want our whole country to look at this. This is us. This is New York, the capital of our country. That's what I call it. It's the real capital. This is in New York. The woman is mouthing, "Help me." New York was supposed to be the hardest. What's the reputation of New York citizens that we've seen growing up? Supposed to be the hardest, most hardcore. Don't mess with New York. We don't play in New York. Somebody got you on your knees right now. Somebody replied to me on Twitter and said, do you think you would have done anything? Easy for me to say, who knows? Nobody knows until you're in that situation. But I would be damned if I was on that subway and didn't do anything. Even from a selfish standpoint, Frank James just popped off. I don't know what this dude or person has. They're a threat to that person. They're a threat to everybody on that train. Are you crazy? I can't even talk about on YouTube what I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover, but instincts kick in, who knows what. I cannot tell you on YouTube what I would attempt to do to that person if I said, let go of her hair or there will be problems. I would not expect anybody to jump in and help, but I guarantee you if somebody did, there would be help. They're scared out of their mind, out of many things, many reasons. That's what happened. Our society is that. And you want to talk about 2A? I want to talk about who turned our society into that. That's the difference between you and me. Are you crazy? There are able-bodied men on that subway. And that's a woman that they have their hair on, tugged on. And I don't care if that's a woman or a man in there. I think it's a man just based on the voice. But that's unacceptable. I don't know what they're going to try to do to me or my wife or kids if they happen to be on there. You must be crazy. I'm going to have to withhold what I would attempt to do. And it wouldn't be anything other than let her hair go. And after that, it's survival instincts. It's fight or flight, and there is nowhere to run. This is after Frank James. I don't know what you're doing. This is after that black dude just boop offed someone right on the train just recently. You must be crazy. I don't care what. Of course, they're concerned of, shoot, I might do something and now I'm hemmed up. You might get hemmed up a different way without doing something. And then even regardless of that, what's the right thing to do? Do you remember that story that someone did the worst heinous crime other than death or right along death to a woman on a train? I don't think we had video, but no one did anything. It happened right there in front of everybody. You need to freeze frame this and look at it. That's us. All of us. Me, you in the chat, everyone. We're all good with it. And we have a mayor who would never come out and say any of this. Say, what have we become? Are you crazy? Can't say here and watch this and have a cell phone out recording this. They would have been recording this ass beating that hypothetically could have happened. That's what would have been recorded. This nickel is saying Jesus. This nickel, I think the dude recording is saying Jesus Christ. I think he's praying. Bro, God, if God isn't giving you the power to do something, then don't pray right now.
Get up! Shut the fuck up! No,
Bruh. Look at this bruh man right here. Bruh. This is going to be a long night's sleep. I don't know when this happened. This is going to be a long night's sleep for this bruh. And I can't, again, easy for me to say. I wasn't there. But the dude is wearing leggings. So there's no heat. At least you would see the bulge for the heat. Now, I could be wrong. You could miss it. There's always a risk. It could be something else, another weapon. There's always a risk. But if you're going to let that bro walk right by you like that, saying, no, 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 no. I'm going to have these hands right here until you shut the up. This is an able-bodied bro right here. I guarantee you he's having nightmares right now. Daydream nightmares.
no, hell.
What I do.
No, hell.
I've had enough of this. In New York. One of the untold crazy stories about this whole thing is what happened to New York.
Seen all of the movie stars in their fancy cars and their limousines. I've been high in the Rockies under the evergreens, but I know what I'm needing, and I don't want to waste my time, 'cause I'm in New York.